You know what's really hard? Trying to authentically capture your emotions and your thoughts and your feelings that you have and the impact that they have. You collect all this information, keep track of it all, and then you find yourself trying to share your experience while not really being able to fully be yourself while doing it. Now, how many of us get to be 100% of ourselves regardless, like day to day? How many different ways do we compromise to protect something that we value, or to not bring conflict into our environment or to others, to keep the peace, which is kind of the same thing? But those are the reasons why we sort of smother parts of ourselves that we think aren't socially acceptable, and I'm no exception. Embarrassingly, I have, you think I would have thought that I would have seen this in myself, but I'm realizing time and time again that your blind spot is a blind spot for a reason, and it can never sort of be shown to you until it's reflected back at you by something in your environment. And something in my environment is sort of showing me that I want to share this process of discovering my spirituality and how this has given me hope and purpose, meaning, but also it has brought up a lot of things I thought I had dealt with and that I had faced. It literally reflects back at me the things that I have yet to work on, and that I need to work on, I should work on, that is in the best interest of the evolution of my spirit to work on. How do I share that without feeling the pressure to sort of pretend like I know more than I do? It's really, really, really easy for the ego to participate in this and start telling you that it's doing this for your own good, and who will listen if you don't, and showing you scenarios of that you couldn't possibly know, of what people might be thinking as they're watching your video, and how you need to preemptively stop that from happening. I think that I don't want to do that. I don't want to be contrived. I don't want to try to be polite. I don't want to try to be charming. I don't want to try to be cute. I just want to be all the things that I am. And as they evolve, that will be seen by myself and hopefully by others. But that's not the end goal, to have other people validate it. This is my journey, and the only reason why I wanted to share it is because of how impactful finally letting go of my intellectualism, understanding that spirituality is not religion, and sort of being pushed to the brink of something that forced me to look at my relationship with the unseen. And how could I continue to exist in this way, this empty, purposeless way, pursuing empty, purposeless things while ignoring the true feeling that is inside of me, which longs to be a part of something bigger, something lasting, but something fundamental, which is not trying to sell something. It's not trying to, I'm not trying to build an empire. I'm not trying to be a guru. I'm not a leader of any sort. I have always been, and I am, and will always be a student, a learner. The important thing for me is that during this process, how I learn to allow myself to just be myself through this process and not try to anticipate what it is that I think that I should be doing or what would be more relevant to someone else. That will never work. I'll never stay motivated, and it'll become really stressful, and I won't be consistent. And I think that knowing myself and checking myself right now and having this little talk is important, because, you know, just because I found spirituality and it has helped me to redefine what matters, what my priorities are, how I want to behave, the part of myself that I want to bring forth, I'm still a human being. I still have my bad habits. I have my bad days. I have my quirks, my sense of humor, I swear, I can be lazy and procrastinate like crazy. I can, if you haven't already known, let my thoughts get the best of me and become very unmotivated and discouraged and lost in overstimulation and rampant anxiety just based off of intrusive thoughts and ruminating. And truthfully, as I've mentioned before, I am working on that, and I have been working on that every single day. It's phenomenal how often my thoughts still go to visualizing bad scenarios of problems, and how often I'm catching myself. But the thing that keeps me motivated is that I'm realizing I am catching myself. And every time I'm catching myself, that's a time that I'm not following through with this catastrophizing thought to its end result, which then makes me feel anxiety. I cut it off. I recognize it. Now I feel embarrassment, maybe a little frustration, but that's a lot better than following it through to the end and it getting to the result of making me anxious and upset and unempowered. This is a hard process. There's going to be days when I completely, mostly think bad thoughts still. I could just wake up that way, and I have. And the whole day's been crap. And then there are days I wake up and my brain and my thoughts are clear, my conscience is guilt-free, and I feel very light and open and motivated, and the goal is to have more of those days happening. But on the journey, I'm not striving for perfection. I'm striving for authenticity. I could strive for consistency and quality, but I don't ever want to try to come across as I'm trying to be something that I'm not, because if in any sense that I'm not a student and I'm a teacher, it would only be if there's something that I have to share that is of value to you. I'm only a teacher if somehow you find yourself in the student position. This journey, I will endeavor to always try to be as candid, as upfront, and honest about my thoughts, the process, and who I am. Like who I am as I think these thoughts, so that I'm not trying to come across as a saint or an angel or a perfect person or the best example of any way of doing something or thinking about something. And that's why I had to write this, because it's just important to be clear, to get the cards on the table from the beginning, that this is not going to be a show about how awesome I am. It's going to be a show about how often I'm struggling and what those struggles are, and maybe how I overcome them if I'm lucky, right? Okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you like this video, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, because that helps me get out to more people. And maybe I can help them. Maybe we can all be students together and teachers. But let's try to be as authentic and as real as we possibly can. At least that's my commitment. And I just wanted to share that. So thank you for your time. Let's continue on with the show. This journey, I will endeavor to always try to be as candid, as upfront, and honest about my thoughts, the process, and who I am. Like who I am as I think these thoughts, so that I'm not trying to come across as a saint or an angel or a perfect person or the best example of any way of doing something or thinking about something. And that's why I had to write this, because it's just important to be clear, to get the cards on the table from the beginning, that this is not going to be a show about how awesome I am. It's going to be a show about how often I'm struggling and what those struggles are, and maybe how I overcome them if I'm lucky, right? Okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you like this video, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, because that helps me get out to more people. And maybe I can help them. Maybe we can all be students together and teachers. But let's try to be as authentic and as real as we possibly can. At least that's my commitment. And I just wanted to share that. So thank you for your time. Let's continue on with the show.